Joining me now is New York Republican Congresswoman and member of the House Transportation and Infrastructure Committee and the House Foreign Affairs Committee, Nicole Malliotakis. She also serves as the Assistant Whip for the House GOP. Congresswoman, thank you for taking time on this Saturday. You just heard our reporter David Spunt at the White House on the latest about the Fauci emails. Let me get your reaction to that if I can.
Well, as I was going through some of the reporting on this issue, you may have noticed that the actual parts that talk about the connection to the Wuhan lab have been redacted. So first and foremost, I think we need to know what was in that redacted email that the Fauci sent as it relates to Wuhan. Now he seems to be changing his tune, and now certainly is also calling for a formal investigation. And I do believe, look, we need to have access to the lab records. We need to know what those individuals who did get sick in the fall of 2019, who were scientists at the lab, we need to know more about that because they did display the symptoms of COVID. And this is something that Representative Scalise, Representative Jim Jordan, and I have been advocating for, a formal investigation as members of the subcommittee on coronavirus. It is shocking that the Democrats have not yet brought forth a panel to actually have a real discussion about this. And the other thing is, look, America should be leading the way, but the international community must also be advocating for answers from the Communist Party of China. That in itself, the fact that, 4 million people died, 600,000 in the United States, a global community should be demanding answers, and we should be holding funding from the World Health Organization unless they're going to get serious about transparency and holding the Chinese Communist Party accountable.
Certainly a lot of questions about whether we might get those answers from China, but do you anticipate getting testimony from Dr. Fauci on the Hill?
We should absolutely be bringing him in. We've already written to Speaker Pelosi demanding that she call a hearing on this issue, both the COVID subcommittee as well as the oversight committee. We must investigate this further. We should be questioning Dr. Fauci. We should be questioning the CEO of the EcoHealth that provided grants to the Wuhan lab, federal dollars that went over there. We should be doing whatever we can as American officials to get answers for the American people.
Speaking of doing enough, I want to just switch gears a little bit. We got the Friday jobs report yesterday, and the chairman of the DNC putting out a statement applauding the jobs report and then also taking aim specifically at Republican members of Congress like yourself. Here is the statement the DNC chair put out, saying that as each day passes, it becomes more clear that congressional Republicans made a callous decision to turn their backs on struggling families and businesses when they needed help the most. That a shot from Jamie Harrison directly at Republicans for not doing enough to advance the president's agenda. Your reaction?
In Joe Biden's words, that is complete malarkey. What I'll say is that, if anything, the Democrats have actually been an impediment to our full recovery. You have 100 million Americans that are currently on the sidelines while small businesses are desperate to get people back to work. And the reason that is because they've decided to give individuals more money to stay home than to actually report back to their workplace. That is completely irresponsible. And quite frankly, once those mandates, those arbitrary restrictions like governors like mine, Governor Cuomo, had put in place were lifted, we knew that those jobs were going to come back. So to try to take credit for that, for flicking on a light switch, is really, really disingenuous. Of course, we always wanted to provide aid and support to our small businesses and those who were suffering, but that was not what this recovery package just did. They put in all sorts of additional spending that is going to hurt our nation and is already hurting us when you look at the lack of labor available because people are getting paid more to stay home. When you look at the amount of products that are less available on the market because of that labor shortage, the supply chain interrupted, and the cost of goods are going up, inflation, food, gas, everything is going up, and it's a result of those policies put in place by the Democrats.
Congresswoman, we're out of time. We've got to leave it there. Just a quick, short answer. The negotiations seem stalled, but continue on infrastructure. Do you think a deal will be reached next week?
I'm hopeful. There's still talks going. Our House Committee on Transportation will be taking up a bill on Wednesday, but it seems as long as we focus on real infrastructure, we can have a deal. Absolutely.
All right, Congresswoman Nicole Malliotakis, thank you for taking time on this Saturday.
Thank you.
Jackie?